Hello, good afternoon. This is Vinny. It is April 27th, 2013, a little bit past 4 o'clock, and I wanted to make my first video on my gold prediction for this year. Um, Before I even start, I want to say that I am very pro the metals. I have a lot of physical in my possession. However, I do want to make an objective prediction, and I hope this helps. And again, this is just my prediction. This is just my views, my opinions. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I definitely want to share them. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into my prediction into gold, the metals, the dollar, and where there could be some really good buying opportunities in the metals on the way down and also on the way up. Now, as you know, recently it did break. Gold did pierce its critical level of 1533. So it broke that level for the first time, and to me, last year it was very, very. It was. I mean, to me, it was very obvious because it's touched it so many times, and the more times you touch support, the more likely it is to pierce it. Now, whether it's been manipulated or not, you know what? I don't even want to go there. I don't really care because as an investor, as a trader, as a person who wants to buy value, you don't really care whether it's been manipulated on the way down or not. Because at that time, because what it does, it distorts your view, your perception. So the important thing is, okay, you know what? Gold, or shall I say GLD, is at 140, right? And gold right now is a little bit above $1,400. That's what I care about. So the next question is, do I want to buy it or no, or do I want to wait? So all these theories, all these news regarding why it went down in Cyprus and all this stuff, to me it's a non-issue because it's just a distraction to the current price action. So we have a price action at the moment, and one of the reasons why I thought it was going to break this critical support line was because it never really, hit this line. It never did. It never touched it here. It just kept on going up. It did some oscillations, and I knew over here it was going to break it. I knew it. I had my put option ready, and by the way, I do have put options as well as physical as well. The put options are just very short term. That's just a personal decision that I'm doing. I don't recommend it to other people, but obviously it depends on how experienced of a trader you are and on the risk that you want to be exposed to. But a lot of people I know just get the physical, and that's a good thing. It's fine by me. So anyways, it's never touched this area. I mean, I'm sorry, it's never touched this line. So when it touched this area, I knew that it's only a matter of time before it really retraces and really, hits this line. So, anyways, so it did. Now, I did do a retrace. Now, I do agree with people like Mike Maloney, who say gold is in an upward trend to an extent. If you zoom out, it is an upward trend. And so what I did a retrace from the lows to the highs, and it shows a 50% retracement to gold $1,200, which I believe on GLD it's about 115. GLD, for those who don't know, is just an ETF. Just for those who basically want short-term gains. By exposing themselves to the gold price. People who buy gold, though, usually don't even mess with the GLD. But I'm using this as an example, as a reference. So anyways, it's at a 50% retrace, okay? And my projection is it's going to be in a 61.8, because usually in an upward trend, these are the two areas that basically charts are retraced to. So usually if it's in a sharp upward trend, and really this is really a sharp upward trend, It took a while for it to kind of break this support 1533 support, but it's very, very likely. I think it's a definite. It's going to 1200. I don't even doubt that. Because I'll show you why. If you look at the daily chart, it's in a downward trend. All right, this is clearly a downward trend. And if you look at the recent highs and the recent lows, and if you project it, so it went down, it did a retrace, it didn't get too far, it basically covered this gap, right? So it covered the gap, which was a good thing. It's a very healthy retrace to the upside. So anyways, I projected it from here to there, to the retrace. And guess what, guys? It's pretty much close to the $1,200 gold retrace mark. Now, the powers that be, and for those who believe that gold is manipulated on the way down, and I don't argue with you all on that, they're going to breach this 1533 retrace. They're not just going to have it breach it to then just to go to $1,200 so then it can go back up again. I don't think so. For if the theory is true that gold is manipulated and silver is manipulated, then it's a good thing to take note that it would be beneficial for the public to really despise and hate gold. And the only way that the masses would hate gold and really, just have a distrust for it was when it makes these levels of $1,000. It's not gonna, have any difference if it goes to 1,200, because guess what? It's already went to 1,300. People were buying, people were still interested. In Asia, they were still buying. Now, there's probably going to be lots of buyers here too, for those who are pro metals. But for those who aren't pro metals, they probably won't like gold, because the news media will probably, spew out their views on gold. So I really feel that the 61.8 is a great target. Now, I'm not saying that it will get there, but I think the likelihood, and here's the thing, with technical analysis, it's all about probability. It's not about predicting in the sense of, okay, it's going to go this level no matter what. It's more about probability. Now, I did this projection here, so probability of it going to 1,200 gold is very, 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 very likely. Okay, I don't know how many varies that is, but that's a lot of varies. Okay, it's very likely. Now, I'm going to argue that if it goes here, it's going to set a downward trend, a strong downward trend, that will then result in a little retrace, and then the last move down, which will be 1,000. If you noticed, when it broke $1,000, right, it never came back. It never tested. It never retested this level again. Never. Never. It never did that. It just kept on going up and up and up and up. So it's only healthy, right? It's only healthy that gold go to these levels. And I am predicting that, about July to maybe August, September time, you'll see the metal, you see gold, go to around $1,000. Worst case, 1,200. Right? But I do think it's going to be $1,000. No doubt about that. I think so anyways. That's just me. Great buying opportunity, I think. So all those people who love gold, great buying opportunity. And here as well. I purchased gold the first time, I believe it was about $800. It was about somewhere around about here I purchased gold. I purchased gold here, and here, and here, and I think I even purchased gold about here as well. So I mean, I'm a great advocate of gold. I'm pro gold. I love silver even more. But you know what? You got to step back a little bit. Shut down all those theories, all the news, and be like, all right, you know what? This is the price action. This is what I see. Now, what's the probability? And I do feel that it's going to project all the way over here. to $1,200, which will be, target one, and then $1,000 would be your possible target two. And at that point, I would just load up and go long, because I think that 2014 is going to be the year for the metals, right? I think 2014 is going to be a year for the metals. I think the 2013 is going to be a buying opportunity. And you can't get buying opportunities and you can't get things for value until they correct. In a sense that, they come back to levels to where, it has value. And, one can argue, well, gold has value even at this point. Okay, true. Okay, fine. But for me, a great value is going to be $1,000 and $1,200. Now, does it matter in the long end? Not really, because if gold does reach, if there is a sovereign debt crisis, a currency crisis, which I think there will be, whether gold goes to 5K, 50K, now whether you purchased at 1,000 or 1,200 is not going to make a difference, right? But short-term wise, for those who are watching this and who like short-term trading, it will be a hell of a lot beneficial for them. But anyways, it's up to you, right? But again, this is my target one. This is my target two. So okay, so enough of gold. What I want to show you now are the indices of the Dow Jones Precious Metals Index and the HUI. Now, the Dow Jones Precious Metals Index here, I did this about a year ago. These lines that you see, I did that about, I think it was about March, April time. And as you can see, the lines, which I have not even changed, are pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. So, anyways, I feel this is a head and shoulder pattern. And obviously you can't buy this index, right? But it gives you it's a barometer of where metals are going. And this is basically 2008 levels right here. So you're looking at about 140 here, right? But anyways, I do feel that it's going to go around at this level. And when this goes to this level, I do think gold is 1,000. Now, I think here, in these levels, I think gold will be about $1,200. So this would be a great opportunity, a great value, guys. If you kind of at least see, this ticker and kind of be okay. You know what? Watch it every month, see where it's going. You'll see that when it hits this level, you can then it'll then give you an indication as to when to buy, and whether gold's at 1,200, 1,000, or 900, whatever, I would buy at that time. That's a great opportunity, and I think this is a good barometer. So far, it has. Go to the HUI. This is the Goldbugs index, and guess what? You see another head and shoulders pattern here. That's right. You see a head. You see the shoulder. You see the shoulder, and there's the drop. And I think the drop's going to come here, and that drop should be about 160 to 170. I think that's going to be the drop. So again, I think from here to here it's going to be about 1,200. I think this is your great opportunity for then to go long. Now the time frame on these, as we all know, right? Let me go back to gold here. In the actually, let me go to the monthly chart. So with the chart going upwards, right, it goes in a stairways pattern. Always. It's always tough when it goes up, but when it goes down, it's like an elevator. That's kind of what the saying is. It's kind of like an elevator when it comes down. It'll do a little retrace, it'll come down again. So with that being said, my time frame will be in the summertime to August, September time frame. And I know it's April, May's just around the corner, and people, might, think, there's no way in hell that gold's going to $1,000 by the summertime. But again, probability wise, there's a high probability that it going to 1,000 than it, just doing some consolidation and going up. Because the powers that be, and if the theory is true that gold is manipulated, they're not just gonna pierce this level for it just to take a little dip and then for it to go. No, I don't think so. That's just me, anyways. So, anyways, summertime to at least at the latest September time is my time frame. And same with the Hui. I think you'll see summertime to maybe August, September. You'll at least hit here. After which point, it's a great buying opportunity. Whether you're buying in the metals or whether you're trying to get some short-term gains by doing some leverage. Obviously, for those who do leverage, you want to be very cognizant of the risks that you take. Now, I do want to show you this, guys. If you look here, right, it's showing it's got a great high move. It's got a great move to the upside. It does the oscillation. It drops, and then guess what? The head and shoulders. The head, shoulder, shoulder, drop, drop, and then it goes on his way, right? Well, guess what? This is the same thing. It has a nice move to the upside, okay, does a retrace, and then it does this head and shoulder pattern. So I think it's going to go into a nice move. I think it's pretty much copying this thing right here, pretty much, in my opinion. So anyways, I think it's a great buying opportunity, guys. Around that time. So I would keep on checking the Gold Bugs Index and the Dow Jones Precious Metals Index, see how that goes. And obviously, for those, who argue, well, there's no point doing a short term, it's just paper. Well, you know what? With that paper, you can buy more physical metal. So, you can argue all you want about paper this and paper that, but at the end of the day, it's that paper that actually buys you the metal. So as long as you don't wait too long to make that switch from dollars to gold, as long as you act on it, then you won't really have an issue, I don't think. So anyways, guess what? This is Gold Core. And guess what? It's another head and shoulders. Here's the shoulders. Here's the shoulders. Now this one's not a perfect head, but it's okay. Technical analysis, you don't have to be, right on. It's just, it gives you, it's kind of like a roadmap. So anyways, that's what I see right here. Okay. And guess what? Gold Core is in a monthly squeeze. That's huge. And for those who don't know what a monthly squeeze is, it's pretty much when there's going to be an explosion, pretty much an explosive price movement, either towards the upside or the downside. And unfortunately, well, actually, it's not unfortunate. It's kind of fortunate for those who want to buy value. So you pretty much, you have this volatility, right? And then all of a sudden, you've got this very low volatility. And it's either going to break towards the upside or the downside. Now, on the monthly chart, it's much more severe. The move is much more explosive on a monthly than it is on a daily chart. Now, like I said, this is in a squeeze showing signs of a downward trend. And, that just justifies even more that Gold Core is going to be in these levels, which is basically $14 at these levels. And I say that because people will say, well, you know what, it's not really a head and shoulder pattern because it hasn't really breached this level. True, but when you have a monthly squeeze showing a downward trend, you got gold and silver showing monthly squeezes on a monthly chart showing a downward trend. You got the US dollar showing a squeeze on a monthly chart in an upward trend, coupled with, the fact that all the things I just discussed on gold and why it should retrace between the 50 and 61.8 levels. I mean, the probability for it to go to this level is tremendous, to the point that it's basically going to happen. Anyways, so it's a great opportunity to short, and from here it's a great opportunity to go long. Obviously, like I said, those who are trading, you want to, be very on the risks. And you know what? I'll kind of show you about what I mean about that. Um, as you guys can see, I love silver and gold. These are my silver charts here, gold futures, and I got a love and hate relationship with silver wheaton. I am trading at the moment. I did a put right before it breached that critical level. That silver breached that critical level, and so did gold. So I made some pretty nice profit gains on the downside. Anyways, let's go to gold call right here, right? And I'll show you what I mean when I say that it's in squeeze on the downside. Now, if you look here, this is basically a TTM trend. This is by Trade the Markets. And if you look, it's in a squeeze. These red dots show it's in a squeeze. So without going too into it and being too complicated, it's showing. Oops, I'm sorry. This is a daily chart. This is the monthly chart. Okay. So instead of zooming in on the chart itself, it's not really relevant here. You got a squeeze, right? It's going down. The MACD, which is momentum, is going down, and the trend, this is called a TTM wave. Like, I don't want to confuse anybody who's watching this, but it's showing in a downward movement, right? So it's had all this volatility, and now it's going like this. And now it's up to traders or people who want to get on this bandwagon to figure out, is it going up or is it going down? And when it goes up or down, it's going to be a huge explosive move. And the main thing is because it's on a monthly chart here. So anyways, here it is. It's showing a downward trend, and actually these green dots here that you see, it shows that it's fired. That's what we call when the squeeze goes off, it's fired. So it's gonna have a lot more to go, and that's why I am saying that it is a head and shoulders pattern on gold core, and that most likely it will probably reach a target of 14 or 15 around this area. So anyways, that's my analysis on that. One thing also on Barrick Gold, just want to quickly go through this. Unfortunately for Barrick Gold, it's already pierced this downtrend. It's already had this head and shoulder move. Now, unfortunately, with all the things I've said about gold and the HUI and the Dow Jones Precious Metals Index, I think Barrick Gold is going to go much, much lower. It's a great company, I think. I think it's going to go much, much lower, unfortunately, and it's a buying opportunity. It could go to these levels, but I doubt it. I really do. I think I don't think it's going to go to this level whatsoever. I think it's more likely to go to the $9 level. So I do feel this is a head, shoulder, had a drop. It's probably going to do a little retrace, but with gold the way it is, and just the HUI and the Dow Jones Precious Metals Index, I think $9. So anyways, to wrap this up really quickly, $1,000 to $1,200 gold, summertime till September. Gold core about $14, Barrick Gold about $9, at which point it's going to be a phenomenal opportunity for people who like to do short-term trades, and for also those who like to do who also like to buy precious metals for long-term gains. All right, that's all for now. Thanks.